Hello there, welcome to In My Opinion for Romancevania.
You play as Dracula, or Drac for short, whose heart has been broken and has been in a depressed slump for years in his broken down castle. The Grim Reaper, aka Grim, seeing how down and out he is, sends him a letter to meet up. When Drac shows up in a brand new castle, Grim surprises him with a dating show called Love at First Bite, thinking that getting him a new squeeze will cheer him up. Even though Drac really has nothing else to do, he's still reluctant, but finally gives in. So now it's up to Drac to find his new love in this show. So yeah, that's the plot. There's no world-ending situation or anything like that. It's literally just about a dating show. Though this doesn't mean it's a boring affair. In this situation, the characters are key to holding everything up, and the game does a good job with that, as the majority of them are pretty likable, and you'll want to talk to them. Yet characters like the jokester Big Booed Pumpkin Lady PSL, the flexible and free mummy Nefret, and even Dracula's mortal enemy the godly Van Helsing, which comes in 3 different flavors. While some of these characters do seem one note, the more you interact, the more you see their personality and maybe some of their background. Though I will say it felt like some characters got a little more love than others, but those are still worth interacting with. This is a 2D Metroidvania, so you know what that means. That means you start off strong, but something takes away your powers. In this case, Grim weakens you to make the show more interesting. As you make progress through the game, you do start to gain those powers back, like turning into mist to get through some areas of fire, and of course the always helpful double jump. This will encourage some backtracking to grab some goodies like the production assistants who, if you drink from, increases your hearts, allowing you to take some more damage. The powers will also make getting around just faster, as now you can run as a wolf and jump much higher instead of just walking the long way. One problem I have with backtracking is the game, as of me playing it, lacks a map. Now the locations are not too huge, and I was able to figure out where I was going, at least for the most part, thanks to the visual cues, but I still think a map would have been nice. The combat's pretty simple, just walk and whack the enemies until they die. While you start off with just your sword, you do get other weapons such as a spear, hammer, and whip. Now some enemies are weaker to certain weapons, but you can kill them with anything, and my personal favorite was the hammer. You also have sub-weapons at your disposal like a swarm of bats and a rat you can launch. I personally didn't use the sub-weapons as much, as I felt my weapons handled everything just fine. Though I will admit they are really helpful during boss fights, as something like the bats do crazy damage when you're close. It's almost like a shotgun blast to the face. The boss fights themselves are okay, but they do tend to have a bit too much health. But again, the sub-weapons help with that. Besides your weapons, you also have other items to help you, like blood to heal yourself, an attack boost, and a temp shield. The healing can come in handy in a pinch, as while I felt the game was pretty easy, there are some moments that would catch you off guard if you're not paying attention. There is more than one way to get all these items, which is picking them up from defeated enemies, and you can just buy them from little shop stands with the money that also comes from defeated enemies, and even breakable objects. The enemies also sometimes just straight up drop health. There are also crystal drops that can give you temp elemental power-ups like fire and ice, making your attack stronger. As you kill, you gain experience, which is called rating, shown by a picture of an award, and when you level up, you get a damage boost. There's other rewards lying around the castle to unlock after you reach a certain level that will give you some more damage boosts or even faster cooldowns tied to your weapons, powers, and even sub-attacks. The last bit of rewards is the ones that unlock powers that I mentioned before, like Mist, and these can't be missed. Now for the main draw of the game and its core premise, the socializing for the dating show. The game is split into 4 acts, and in each of these acts, your main goal is finding brand new contestants and asking them to join, which can be as easy as just asking, or you have to do some favors, be it beating someone up or finding something. You start with 3, but this slowly increases and decreases as you go to the next act. I say decrease as you're asked after each act to give someone the black rose, which means you can no longer interact with them and they will disappear forever from the show. I do like that when you give the rose, you can either give the person a heartfelt goodbye or just quickly say laters, which adds to the game's comedic charm. I also like that they don't say anything to make you feel messed up for giving them the rose. As you get more contestants, they tend to move into your castle, which makes it expand a bit, and the characters are usually in these specific spots if you want to find them. For the actual socializing, you can talk to whoever you have in Black's rose, and this gives you certain type of responses such as flirty, friendly, and sexy. Depending on what you pick, this will either increase your romance bar or not increase it at all. I appreciate there's no response that takes away from the bar. There's also a cool little Christmas theme part of the castle in which you can give gifts that you find and buy through your playthrough. Of course, not any gift will work, and to be honest, I used a guide for this. I will say the smaller gifts are kind of a guessing game of who they go to, but the best gifts that raise the bar a lot are a little more obvious, like the dynamite for Medusa or joke book for PSL, though I still recommend a guide for this part. Now this bar is important, since while I don't think you need to upgrade it to get a specific ending, they contribute to giving you special hearts and raising your overall romance level. You can spend said hearts in a special shop that upgrades your skills and weapons. Also, some of these are tied to what romance level you're at with specific characters. So getting L to a certain level lets you upgrade the hammer's strength. Getting Vest to a certain level makes your mist power last longer, and so on and so forth. Remember, if a character is not leveled up enough to buy an upgrade and you Black Rose them, you can't get that upgrade anymore since they're off the show. There are also side quests you can do to raise your romance meter more, such as getting Van Helsing a holy item, getting Medusa's body back, and freeing Vest from a wish made long ago. Doing these allow the characters to open up even more, though as I mentioned before, it feels like some got more love than others, as there are some like Lulu who didn't get any personal side quests, which sucks. You can also take the contestants on dates. You just have to find special spots and Grim will let you know that you can bring that special someone out. This again lets you get to know them better. What's not made clear is there is a limit. I thought at first it was an overall date limit. Instead, there's just a limit to that specific date spot, which I get is to balance it out and make you choose who you really want to take out. But the fact that some characters don't get a side quest, it would have been better to let you take as many as you want out to get to know the characters better, since at the end of the day you only get to choose one, so you still gotta make a choice. Might as well let me feel out everyone, you know? Thankfully, there is the golden hour which throws you a bone. After completing your main missions for the act, the golden hour is activated, where a golden light illuminates all of the castle, and I kinda wish it didn't, as it's pretty annoying, especially if you want to date or explore the castle still. They should have just put a text in the corner saying golden hour. That aside, during this time you can take anyone who's still in the game to the bar, where you'll pay for their drinks and talk and learn about their thoughts on things. The drinks themselves are super cheap and money is so easy to come by that you don't have to worry about the bar tab. After this, the only thing left to do is pick who's out and who stays in until you hit the final act, in which you can have a special date with 2 contestants, and it's rather nice as you have a special little talk and even get some nice art to go along with it. Then you pick your main squeeze out of the 2. I gotta say the relationship building aspect is the best part of the game, as I really enjoyed it and they handled everything well for the most part. The game also does have a fast travel as you unlock new points as you make progress. So going back and forth doing missions and cleaning up some dating spots, as you can do those whenever you like, even waiting till the very end, is not a pain in the neck. I forgot to mention that you can pick a female drag if you want to, and picking either male or female won't lock you out of any relationship. I think the game looks pretty good. The locations are varied, like a pumpkin patch area, underwater, and even Drax New Castle has some spots that make it stand out, like a dance club and pool area. I also like to touch that each time you teleport there's a sit down moment with the camera where the contestants comment on certain things, capturing that reality show feel. The enemies start off pretty simple with stuff like skeletons, but as you go on you'll see a new enemy or two like killer pumpkins and a fish on a bike. Even the boss fights can get kinda weird, like a gimp pumpkin guy. Of course, the standout designs are the contestants on the show. As I mentioned, we literally have a woman made of pumpkin, a werewolf, Medusa's head, a hot mummy, and much more. And each character also gets a nicely drawn 2D still to go with their 3D model. I also feel everyone did a great job with their voice work. Besides some minor clipping I ran into, I had no real tech issues and the game ran smooth through my playthrough.
Drac, I have not.
Let us stroll then. I shall cradle you in my arms.
Hang on. Let me feed my babies first so they don't nibble your elbows. Then we'll check this place out. I can't wait to see all the cool artwork.
Remember that time we sacked that little village in Crete and they had the most gorgeous art in those stalls down by the ocean?
Right. We took home a lot of souvenirs that night.
I kept many of them. They're back in the rubble of my old mansion. I'll bring you there sometime, if you like.
How's about you bring them here? Let's leave the past in the past and just improve the future, you think?
I like that idea.
Well, the combat's just okay, it's still pretty fun. The social aspects what stood out in a really good way, and thanks to the cast, I wanted to stick around. It took me around 15 hours to complete, and there's a good amount of replay value if you want to see the interactions of the other characters and special dates. You can also play as the female Drac. If you're in the mood for a simple little comedic Metroidvania with some dating elements, then I would recommend not changing the channel and giving it a chance. I hope you enjoy my thoughts in this game, and for gamer's sake, keep gaming.